Yo, what's up guys, D-Cell here, and welcome back to another unit review for Counterside Global. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new units, Alex, and the new Counterpass unit, Lyudmila. And in these videos, I go over their skill kit, I talk about whether I think they're worth summoning for, I talk about what kind of gear sets you might want to put on them, so on and so forth. And first things first, we're going to dive right into Alex, and we're going to talk about her and her skill kit. Right away, I think Alex's design, I love her aesthetic, I love her overall design. I think it's really neat looking, and she does have a pretty good Christmas skin, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. If you look at her base stats, she has a decent amount of HP and a decent amount of attack and defense. Her defense is kind of low, but overall her stats aren't bad. Looking at her skills, you have basic attack, which has 2 valid hits, and nothing special here for her basic attack. You do have the damage limiter passive skill, which does detect stealth on passive, activates her device when HP drops below 50%. Basic attack additionally attacks, so she's going to get more attacks on her basics, and all attacks create a barrier equal to 3% of max HP for 5 seconds. Now the additional level up effects for this, she gets a whopping 20% attack speed upgrade, which is really good. That's a really good passive to have. And then the level 5 is attack plus 50% based on HP loss, and then immunity to hit stuns from special or lower skills while she has a barrier active. So right away we can kind of see she's designed to do damage based on her HP loss, so she's kind of like a sacrificial damage dealer, which is, okay. These units can be kind of hard to use and utilize sometimes. Her special skill is Life Overdrive, amplifies her device output, temporarily reinforcing her physical capability, inflicts AoE damage in the front, and increases her max HP by 25% for 12 seconds, which is a pretty big HP buff. And the level up effect will increase the damage of it by 25%, and at level 5, we'll take that max HP increase and take it to 50% for 12 seconds, and then it will also randomly remove 1 non-permanent buff off of people who are hit. So this is a buff strip, which is kind of nice. Then you have Sidechain Compressor, which is her ultimate skill, maximizes her device output, causes an underground explosion, again, another AoE damage with 3 valid hits, again, increases the damage up to 25% for the level up effect, and the damage will increase by up to 50% based on HP loss. Overall, I think Alex is kind of mid at best. The biggest problem that Alex is going to have is that she is going to be compared to other strikers. So while she's a good unit, she's not going to be good comparatively to other strikers that we already have and other strikers coming down the pipeline. Additionally, being a sacrificial damage dealer means her damage needs to justify her HP loss, and it doesn't quite do that in my opinion. Overall, I think her design is fantastic. She has a really cool Christmas design. It does make her in-game animation slightly different. I like the way she attacks in-game. I like the overall aesthetic of this character. However, I just don't think she has enough in her skill kit to rise above the pack of striker units. Now, if you do end up picking this unit and you want to use her, I think you should probably be putting her on an HP set to make better use of the barriers that she gets. Additionally, it will help her survive longer because she does need HP percentage, like a lower HP percentage, to actually function damage wise. Additionally, she does increase her attack speed and she gets extra basic attacks from her passive. So I think you could go with an attack speed set as well if you want to eke out more DPS. However, I do think an HP set is the way to go for her because it's going to make utilizing her a lot easier. What are my overall thoughts on Alex? I think Alex, well, I think she's, again, I said it earlier, she's mid at best. I think you should only be pulling for her for waifu reasons. I don't really see any reason to waste blue tickets on unless you just really want her for your lobby screen, or you just really want to use her because she's, your waifu for you. And next up, we're gonna have the Counterpass unit, which is Lyudmila. So let's go ahead and dive into her stats and her skill kits and see what she's all about. So her stats, right away, we can see her HP is incredibly low. She does have a decent amount of defense for a sniper unit, and her attack is pretty good as well. at just under 7,000, but her HP is going to make her incredibly squishy, so do keep that in mind going forward. All right, let's go ahead and go over her skill kit and break it down. Her basic attack remotely controls a naval cannon and fires at a single target in front on a regular basis. Targets air units within range first and stops attacking if the target dies or moves 15 meters away from her. So what this basically means is if there's two people in front of her, she's going to prioritize the air unit, which makes her very useful for anti-air. And then you have Maintain Battlefront, which is her passive skill. Unlocks a new power every time an ally leaves the field, depending on its type. Increases crit if they're counters, attack if they're soldiers, and if it's a mech, it will create a barrier equal to 15% of max HP for 10 seconds. And then the level up effect is crit damage up to 20% and crit/attack plus 10% instead, and that's going to be a max stack of 50% still. So it just makes it easier to get those stacks as units die and be replenished on the field. So this passive is interesting because I feel like this passive is going to be harder to proc in most PvE scenarios. However, in PvP, this could make her quite the powerhouse. Then you have her special skill, Coordinates Lock. Telekinetically gathers enemies in front, levitates them, and fires a cannon at them, and then knocks them backwards with AoE damage. This is going to lower the cooldown. The level effect is going to lower the cooldown to 16 seconds and give her 25% more damage, which honestly is pretty good. The reason why the cooldown makes it pretty good is because this is a CC type ability, because it's going to provide that crowd control and do more damage. Then you have her ultimate skill, Last Ditch Effort, musters up her strength and throws an abandoned ship with, by the way, the animation for it is pretty great. The ship crouches down onto the ground and continuously pulls enemies before it explodes. So again, more CC that she's bringing to the table. Then the level effects will remove 8 seconds from the cooldown, and then the last attacked target's speed and attack speed will be debuffed by 25% for 15 seconds, which is actually really good. Overall, Lyudmila is a very solid unit. She's a really good sniper to have on your team. I think she's going to be used for a long time to come because she can float in the air and she's going to target air units first and foremost. This makes her a really good anti-air unit, even though she attacks everybody. Her damage multipliers will get even better in PvP, especially if she's in the back line and there are people that are going to be, sacrificed. She's going to get more and more stronger as the PvP battle goes on. However, I do think it's going to be harder to proc that passive in most PvE circumstances, because in most PvE circumstances, they're kind of timed, and the idea is not to have your units leave the battlefield. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder to proc that passive. However, her damage is formidable even without that passive proccing, so she's going to be really good in a lot of future PvE game modes. So overall, I think Lyudmila is definitely worth it. If you're able to pick her up from the counter pass, if you're like a casual spender or you're a low spender, this is definitely a counter pass to go for. I think she's probably the best counter pass to date. She's really strong. Even in PvE, without proccing her passive, she's going to be a very good addition because she can do really good damage and she can attack air. So the main problem with Xiaolin, of course, is that she is a ground attack only. So she does really good damage, but she's only going to target ground attacks. With Lyudmila, that's going to remedy that problem, right? She's going to be able to attack air and ground, and she's going to deal a decent amount of damage. So I think she's going to be a good threat in both PvP and a good unit for future PvE modes as well, especially considering PvE modes that are going to have a lot of air units. Lyudmila is definitely going to be an irreplaceable part of the team. So if you can pick her up as a counter pass, again, if you're a low spender, I think this is the counter pass to spend on because she is an excellent unit. But hey guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Me personally, I really like Alex's design and I would love to get her. I did pull for her a little bit, but I'm not going to justify trying to go any much further because I don't think she's worth wasting a lot of blue tickets on. But I would love to know your thoughts, guys. Do you like Alex? Do you like Lyudmila? Are you going to get one or both? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, guys, do consider liking and subscribing to the video. Leave me a comment of some kind. It does help with the YouTube algorithm and I appreciate it and I thank you so much. I do live stream, guys, over at twitch.tv/DCellGaming if you're interested in that every Monday and Thursday. So do follow me over there if you're interested. And we do have a Discord community if you want to reach out for me for any reason outside of YouTube or Twitch. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great day and I will see you in the next one.